Sit back, relax, as we continue our journey through the 2022 disaster market. Rudy, I hope this letter finds you well. Quick summary of how I got to the point of sending you my collection. Remember being introduced to magic like it was yesterday. Summer of '94. Just had graduated. I was working my first part-time job starting college. One of my best friends told me about this awesome new game you could carry around in your pocket and play anywhere. I found it was very popular on campus. I enjoyed playing and cracking packs so much that I choose to buy cards rather than go out partying with my limited disposable income. In the winter of '95, I entered a sealed deck tournament and I won. My prize was a box of Fallen Empires. Oh, yes. That I didn't open because I had a ton of the set already. Never sold or traded any of my cards because I had a true passion for the game. Fast forward 30 years and so much has changed. 2 divorces, a bankruptcy. I work full time. I'm a single parent with 3 kids. Dang, man. You got your hands full. I last played Magic at my local game stores in the fall of 2019. My cards are collecting dust. I have to recoup some of my investment. Couldn't think of a better place to send them than the vault on the 4th floor of your parents' basement. Cheers, Gene. Sorry to hear about the multiple divorces and bankruptcy, man. That's some brutal shit, man. So, folks, sit back, relax. We have an interesting conversation to go over because I think some of this is kind of relevant, especially these Legends commons. Now that everybody's got Legend cards because of Dominaria, there's Legends cards everywhere. They're all going to 0. Wow! And then, of course, a little stack of some interesting revised related cards. And, of course, we got Tell Me Your Old School Without Telling Me Your Old School. Yellow top loaders. Tell me you're old without telling me you're old. Before we get in the video, remember, folks, if you have a collection, you want to get rid of it, you don't want to risk getting G.I. Joe cards or chargebacks and problems, AlphainvestmentsLLC at gmail.com. No, I'm not going to give you 100 cents on the dollar, but unlike other people, I'm not going to bait and switch you and try to lie about it. On average, you're going to end up between about 60 to 66%, depending on the overall condition, so compared to eBay sold prices. That's usually how, like, the buy list, when you average them together, it's usually where they end up being. So, and of course, I cover your shipping, and we get to make a fun video, and you can remember and think about how you regret selling your cards for the rest of your life. Also, remember, folks, everything in this video you see is not for sale, but I appreciate the kindness and gestures and comments. AlphainvestmentsLLC at gmail.com. The old PP. Pictures and prices if you're interested. No creepy giggities. No washer-dryer repairs. No wife's boyfriends. So, let's get into this, folks. This video is, this transaction took place here in Florida. I apologize, almost 3 months ago. It's about 2.5 months ago. So again, this was in the heart of the deep June, July summer, cruel summer of 2022. Unfortunately, by the time this video goes live, it's going to be a lot later because I'm behind. So, first things first, I want to jump right to this. I want to jump right to this thing. Again, not big money here, but I want to show you something. We got Legends cards, essentially Legends commons. Maybe an uncommon slipped in here, but essentially Legends commons cards, right? Not near mint, you know, little chips here and there. Some are near mint, some are, you can see, some have some little play marks, some are nice, some are, you know, a little bit more nickeroonies here and there. But anyways, people want to ask me, Rudy, you know, with Lost Legends and Dominaria, are you sure? Are you nervous about it? Ice Age starter, which chart? Ice Age little starter deck book, and well, Alpha Beta, old school book, huh? So here's the thing. No! Everybody acting like the fact that 100 boxes of Legends were cracked and schlepped through the market through Dominaria. People are acting like it's like the end of the world. Well, how does Rudy feel? Is he going to stop? No! If anything, when some people pull these cards and don't want the old cards, and they have an opportunity to sell an old card they got for nothing, and they can sell it for $100, $300, $500, or $1,000, yeah, they're probably going to cash it in, and I'd be honored to buy it. This whole concept that 100 Legends boxes were opened, which is like an extra 30 rares of each Legends card, is going to change anything in the world. That's assuming every Legends box is open, collector box. I'm sorry, every Dominaria collector box is open, and every Legends rares hits. And of course, except the ones that are, you know, culturally insensitive because of the 2020 people lost their minds crap. It doesn't mean anything. That's assuming every one of those 30 copies hits the market. It does nothing. Nothing. That whole fake turbulence, fear, FOMO to get people to freak out, it's just completely out of control. Anything with Legends, Antiquities, Arabian Nights, The Dark, is just, Rudy, you usually say it's museum quality. Yeah, well, yeah, my stepsister's museum quality too, and I still like it. So, next we're going to go over the dark. The dark stuff, same thing. Now the dark, remember folks, do not underestimate the supply of the dark. The dark has a larger supply than a lot of people realize. Now I believe this may be 1 or 2 sets or partial sets. Yeah, this is, looks like a light played set of the dark here. So we got a complete set of the dark. I think this set, I don't remember if this is a complete set or not. I'll have to check. I think this puts me at 50 complete sets of the dark. Everyone's like, wait, what does he just say? I love these Four Horsemen old sets so much. I don't give 2 shits. I don't care if they lose 50% of their value. I don't care if Magic dies and everything goes to 0. I love them so much, I don't even care. So anyways, we've got Frankenstein's monster. Anyways, complete set. This looks like a complete set of the dark. I'll audit to make sure we're not missing any particular rares or anything in the sets. We got Stone. Hold on. Where's some of our? Where's Eater of the Dead? That would be in the E. Let's look for some key cards real quick. We got Eater of the Dead. There it is. Okay. Well, some little exorcism action. Yeah, the exorcism. This is probably a complete set. Okay. Anyways, so let's take a look at this one real quick. I think it might be like I think it was a 2 almost complete sets, but maybe missing a few cards. Okay, no, never mind. This one's just random. Oh, this is just a bunch of bulk. No, not bulk. There's a couple good cards in there. I just saw Exorcist. Okay, but anyways, all these things, and again, you can look upside down. As long as you see that little moon symbol there. See all those moons? I love it. I love it. I love it. And no, folks, if you have pictures of the cards with the dark symbol, you know, Amnesia or anything, and it's white bordered Chronicles, no, nothing's that you're never going to get wealthy. You're never going to have 25 Lambos and 14 private jets. Chronicles is always going to be Chronicles. I want to lay that out there. Next, let's jump over here. This is an interesting conversation. People have been asking me lately, Rudy, how come you haven't talked about... Oh, I think that dual land's like bent. The whole Badlands is a bent corner. Bent carrot. So, here's the thing. I know we haven't talked about Revise in a while. The market's gone to shit. We haven't talked about it. Is this full 1, 2, 3? So we got a ton of plateaus. We got a bent Badlands. We got some Troppies, Tundras, Volks, and of course, good old copy artifact. I don't expect Revise cards to have any form of run, bull run, major uptick. I don't expect anything substantially to change until the overall macro environment stabilizes and money in general flows back to old, like reserve list collectibles. You're always going to have private groups targeting buyouts and having fun and making some money or pushing something and flipping it. That's just the free market. I'm not here to judge. I don't care if they do that or they don't do that. I don't care how angry it makes you. This is the facts of what the free market's going to do. But that does not mean that someone's going to do some buyouts and turn the whole market into this bull run where everything just starts going up every single day. Again, I don't see that happening. I am hoping and optimistic that we have still bottomed out and we're trending sideways right now. A lot of reserve lists and old things. And I'm still optimistic, as I said in the last 3 months, that I believe we're going to continue to trend sideways. And hopefully, as we approach the end of the year, moving into next year, we start to see upticks again. But even then, when I say upticks, I'm talking very subtle things. Like if a dual lands $300, I'm talking uptick. We go from like 300, 310, 315, 318. If you think you're going to buy a dual land for 300 and then sell it for 1,000, or you're going to buy this set of the dark for a couple $100, and that set of the dark is going to go to 10,000, you know, you're just going to get hosed. You're going to be a Timmy for life. Now, we'll jump over to a few other small things here. We got Unlimited Time Vault. You guys know Time Vault is in the top 10 Rudy all-time favorite cards with the Archaeologist and some other little meme cards and Sarah Angels and things. But yeah, Time Vault is, you guys know how I feel about my white bordered Power 9 or Power 10 for this card. Yes, it's off-centered. Yes, it's played. Yes, it's well-loved. It's pretty beaten the crap. But again, unlimited, only white bordered power ever made. Now, I wanted to show this because there's a lot of these book promos. I always get conversations about these promo cards. People always ask me about these old promos. Hey, the infamous dragon. They always say, Rudy, do you think they're ever going to do anything? Honestly, no. Yes, they can move up a few bucks, move down, and drift around. But these type of promos are just simply rejected by the market. There is no real desire. They don't really have any power level. They're not really played, even in kitchen table type stuff. They don't have to be legalized, pro tour, this and that. There's just not much excitement around these cards. That's the problem with it. Not that they're just old and they should be worth a lot of money because it's old. Remember, folks, most old Magic cards are still worthless. We talked about that. The majority of old cards, printed especially in 94 to 96, Fallen Empires, Chronicles, 4th Edition, Ice Age, Homelands, most of those cards remain worthless. Now again, next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 2, 3, 4, 500 years, they may become less worthless. You know, cost of living adjustment, inflation, a bunch of 10-cent cards, maybe they go to a bunch of 20, 30-cent. Rudy, that's tripling your money. Well, if you want to look at it that way, there you go. Now, back to Unlimited. All these kind of uncommon, little weird Unlimited cards, camouflages, and, you know, kind of fold. These are cards that were cut out by the time Revise hit. Invisibility, cut out before Revise. These type of cards I still think are very big question marks. Like these three right here are a great example. These are not worth a lot of money. These are a couple bucks probably, especially in played condition. But the fact is they were cut at Unlimited, and the original artwork and the original kind of visually appealing view of this card, even if they reprinted it and redid it, it would not be whiteboard. It would not be with original art. We don't know long term if there's going to be a big bull run on top cards like this in the future. But they're so cheap, if you deal in collection buying or you're big into collecting or investing, these are things you want to have exposure to because they're just so cheap. There's very little, it's very minimal on the downside compared to the unknowns of the future. That's how I look at it. Arabian Nights, obviously very, very well-loved, very, very played cards. Nowhere near gradable or anything exciting, blah, blah, blah. We got the eggs. We got the old Jeweled Bird with gambling over here with Ante. And Martyrs, believe it or not, is reserved list. Sage with Rudy's old beard, not reserved list. And, of course, more of the book promos that are worthless. Again, anything. I don't care if it's a common. If it has Arabian Night swords, antiquity anvils, to me, it's the gold standard. Last pile in this video before I give you guys some kind of closing comments on here. Beta icing manipulator. Believe it or not, in the old school world, this is my least favorite icing manipulator because I don't like the oversaturated brown. It just doesn't, I like the natural kind of that softer brown appearance. The contrast ratio always irritates me. I wanted to bring this up because right here, you got a great example of some of the Elder Dragons here. And old Dakin Blackblade, which actually Dakin was redone in Dominaria, kind of reimagined. Again, even with Lost Legends and Dominaria, even with non-reserve lists, new versions of things like this being reprinted, even though it's not the original, these are all very iconic cards. I know, Rudy, they're secret layers. These are not reserve lists. There is in Chronicles, and now they're going to be secret layers. Again, it doesn't matter. These original versions of these Elder Dragons are very iconic pieces of Magic history. I'm surprised they're as cheap as they are, but they are cheap because they are not reserve lists. Again, being not reserve list, no matter how you feel about it, does have a psychological impact, and it does impact how people view and value some cards. If these were reserve listed and not done in Chronicles and had no chance of any being reprinted, even though they are now in Secret Lair, or at least they will be, the difference would be substantial. I want to lay that out there. Last but not least, over here, we got more random Legends cards, some I like to call them mid-tier reserve list cards, Phoenixes, Resets, Artifact Blast, very cool Antiquities cards, Crumbles, and of course, over here, we got some Tron action and some Antiquities. There's a lot of speculation right now on anything with artifacts and Antiquities because of Brothers War. Now, I remain very skeptical on how Brothers War is going to be able to follow Dominaria. Dominaria come out, these collector boxes had Phyrexians, Liliana in Standard, Lost Legends. I don't know how Brothers War is going to be able to follow this up without Phyrexians and Lilianas in Legend card inserted. If Dominaria is coming off weak, how is Brothers War at the same price point going to be able to do better? I do know they're going to do some artifact throwback, old frame, old foil, shooting star, some sort of shenanigans because they have to. It's no longer even an option, in my opinion. There's no way Wizards can just release any new product anymore without doing gimmicks and weird things. They have set the bar so high for themselves and raised prices so much, they have to do exotic, gimmicky things or their shit collapses. That is where we are with New Magic or Flash Era or whatever the hell you want to call it. Based on that, yes, there's a good probability to do some sort of Maybe they're reprinting Tron lands. Again, not reserve lists. Again, nothing like the original Antiquities or even Chronicles. But I mean, I don't have any concern on the original versions of cards. Even the original versions that are not reserved list. I want to make that very clear. Now, before we end the video here, I want to comment on this. Yes, Mana Crypt is the book promo. I know, see the nice little book promo logo that actually is successful. And this shows the difference between book promos that are actually useful and desirable versus book promos that are not. That's all there really is to it. Now, we got the old Urborgs, we got some mana batteries, barriers, rocket, we got some antiquity rockets, more mana batteries, solar, and again, we got another one of these random pentacles type of gates, all these weird things from Legends Rares. God, these yellow top loaders. Tell me you're an old school dude without just saying anything. Overall, I remain incredibly bullish. I am the only person right now who's been screaming on YouTube the last 6 months about how bad everything is and the potential for upside over the next 5 to 10 years. I've never seen a better entry point buying opportunity than I've seen in my career in the end of summer of 2022. Everything is so negative. Not just Magic cards. Everything. I'm telling you all, you can blindfold yourself, take all your clothes off, run out in the street, and just throw money and just buy any sealed box, anything. It doesn't even have to be Magic, anything. Magic, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, MetaZoo, hell, Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably flipping Final Fantasies and Weiss and Force of Will. It doesn't even matter. At the current state of the market, the probability of buying in at these ridiculously low prices because of how bad everything's been just fire sold in panic of raising capital, the downside risk compared to the upside potential teeter-totter is so slanted. It's incredible. And again, I've been deploying more money in the last 4 months, accumulating sealed product of everything. Magic, Pokemon, Weiss, old cards, single cards, Flesh and Blood, cold foils. I've been trying to get MetaZoo serial cards. The people who get those, damn, they won't sell those things unless you give them outrageous amounts of money. It's been, I've just been accumulating so much inventory and sealed product of Magic, sealed product of Weiss, trying to sit on a pallet of sealed Pokemon of every set. I've been doing this so long, folks. And, one of two things are going to happen. Next 6-12 months, you're going to see all these terrible videos of how much money Rudy lost. Or in 12-24 months, there's going to be continued videos of Rudy looking back at 2022 and all these items. It's going to be the Rudy Pokemon Bathroom 2.0. When Pokemon was garbage, Evolution, Steam Siege, Breakpoint, Breakthrough, Roaring Skies, Generations, Primal Clash, Ancient Origins, XY, Furious, Base. I couldn't sell that. I couldn't give it away at a loss. And it was that way for 2 years. And then all of a sudden, it was special. Everybody wanted it, begged for it. And, obviously old Magic cards are always going to be a thing. But it's not, you have to diversify because we don't know what's going to move first. Sealed product, old sealed product, single cards, new sealed boxes, collector set, draft. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know which card game. So far, Pokemon is holding strong. Everything else is beginning living hell kicked out of it. Pokemon's holding strong. I'm referring to sealed Pokemon boxes. That's why I don't follow the singles. And, MetaZoo, actually Wilderness MetaZoo, has actually held up very well and has actually been rebounding now. MetaZoo UFO, getting the crap kicked out of it. Weiss, 4, 5, 6 sets. Or actually probably almost 10 sets. The last all of them just getting annihilated. Selling at losses, this and that. Magic, the last 6, 7, 8, 9, draft, set, collector, everything. Below cost, selling at losses, raising capital, Boulder's Gate, nuclear disaster. Midnight, Crimson, AFR, Strix, Streets, everything. But I'm telling you all, it's not going to stay this way. And I'm going to say it till you guys are sick of hearing me say it because I want you to remember in 12 to 24 months. I want you to remember, or somebody out there, I want people to remember this. People beg for things to be cheap. Then they get their wish one day and nobody does anything about it. And when things change, this is when large transfers of wealth in the world happen. People don't get rich in bull markets. People aren't getting wealthy when the stock market's going up and everything's going up, and all you have to do is just close your eyes and click the buy button. People move the chess pieces around and build the formation in bear markets when everybody's laughing, ridiculing. Look at this idiot buying sealed cases of Weiss. Look at Rudy still buying magic cards. They're going to get rid of the reserve list any day. Look at Rudy still buying flesh and blood. Is that game bankrupt yet? Oh, MetaZoo's done. And the new MetaZoo set's probably going to go zero. Well, we'll see. 50% print run reduction and tightened supply. Well, yeah, we'll see. There's no way to know. But at the end of the day, you got to stay in the game. You got to live to fight another day. You have to believe and be positive that the world will go on and that things will work out just fine. And you cannot watch all these videos online and these YouTubers and influencers and LGSs or distributors or whoever you're listening to that's filling your head with everything going to zero. Because that is some of the worst advice you can possibly get. Everybody knows the market's bad. I don't need to make a video saying, hey guys, it's Rudy here. Market's in a bear market. We all know that. Economy's been in recession since January. We're 9 months into negative GDP. You think all of a sudden, October 1st going to roll around, Rudy's going to dress up as a taco for Halloween, all of a sudden everything's going to go to the moon? No. And the difference between 99% of everyone upset and depressed and hiding and the 1% of people who are going to build amazing futures and change things, well, the 1% are going against the grain. They think for themselves. They don't get emotional and negative. They don't bash each other. They don't bash their friends. They don't bash all the other YouTubers. They don't bash their local store. They think. They analyze. They think critically. They ask why. What can change? What causes this? Well, if everyone feels that way, what happens if it changes quicker and no one's ready for it? What happens when the market shifts, everybody fire sold every damn product and not a single store in the country has any large inventories because everybody just dumped everything? What happens? Huh? That's what I see. And I feel like I stand alone in it. And I'll continue to do my thing. Hope you learned something today. Beautiful world out there. Be careful with the negativity, folks. Be careful with the people who are just bashing this and that, going to zero, because it will turn. And when it turns, most people will not see it coming, and it's going to turn out of nowhere. And usually, it turns way quicker than you realize. You just wake up one day and you're like, what? How did that go up? I thought that would... And that's usually how things happen. Bull markets and bear markets come to an end when nobody expects it to turn. And when everybody gives up, that's when things change.